Check me, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I'll take the first question, which was saying how young people can hold leaders accountable. So I'll speak to that much because those are the things that I really love talking about. So first of all, I'll talk about having information about the certain thing that you want to hold leaders accountable on. Is it education? Is it them promising you more jobs? You need to understand and what policies are there that speak to what the government or the politician said. Because once you have that full information, you know where to start from. I'll give an example of Zambia because that's where I come from. In 2024, the government revised the youth policy. And this youth policy, it has been broken down into different sectors of government and what government is going to do for the young people and what do the young people need to do in that state. So there's this organization called Imisepela Youth Organization. It's a non-governmental organization. They've taken it upon themselves to make an application which is a link between government and job opportunities, right? So they created that platform to dialogue with government. So they go to government with a solution to say, people are complaining about opportunities. Young people are complaining they don't have jobs. So, and young people were complaining to say they don't know when applications take place. So as the young people, we have this application, and this application is where every young person of Zambia can access opportunities across the country. And what does that mean? If the government doesn't give us those jobs, now we hold them accountable to say, we've brought a solution to you. Just give me 30 seconds, thank you. So we have this application, and if you don't give us some jobs to advertise, or if you don't link us to organizations that will give jobs and other skills development to the young people, then they are failing their duty as the government, because we've taken a step to bring a solution, and if they don't abide or collaborate with us, now we can go to the streets and say, we want what was promised to us. And trust me, right now, the Imisepela application has about 250,000 users, and we are still lobbying to government to get jobs and opportunities from them. Thank you.
Please let us just try to understand and make sure that our time is in order.
Okay, I'll try and keep this short. I will address the question that was asked about whether democracy is the best system for us, and the idea that it's an imported system of government. So I'll start off by saying that part of our problems here across Africa is not just the experience of colonialism. I mean, that has hurt us. It has hurt us badly. But I would say one of the biggest problems we have is that we don't know our history. A lot of people think that the idea of gender equality is imported. A lot of people think that the idea of democracy is imported. If we knew our history, we would know that across the continent, yes, we had kings, we had traditional rulers, but how did those systems run? So I'll push back by saying that any system, let me even agree with you that there was a time, because there was a time in human history where conquest, might was right, was the way that things were done. Are we saying that we are comfortable, in the 21st century with having a system where it's not a market of ideas, it's not the best ideas, the best minds, that get to drive and shape how our societies run? Because that would be my response to that question. So it's not perfect, right? It's a model. It's not perfect. But I promise you, let me speak as someone who grew up in military era Nigeria. It sounds nice because what we have now is not working the way we want. But I promise you, it can be a lot worse. Imagine not being able to say anything without getting into trouble, getting arrested, getting beat up, and nobody can do anything about it. So let me stop at this point. The solution is not to start asking for a different system. It's to make this one work. We know what democracy should look like. And I will put it to you that part of the problems, another problem we are having is we're so fixated on what government is not doing that we're forgetting that governance has two sides. There's the demand side and there's the supply side. Someone is supposed to supply you something. They are either not supplying it or they are giving you something that's below standard. If you took your money to the market and that happened, what would you do? Why don't we do that when it comes to governance? I'll stop here.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry. So unfortunately, because of time, next time it speaks to funders that next time we need more of these days so that we can have more robust discussions around things that do matter. With this, we are coming to a close of our session. And before we close, I just want to leave you with something that was written by Brian Klass in his book, Corruptible, that the question lies in how the incorruptible achieves the trifecta: the will to seek power, the means to attain it, and the strength to hold it without becoming the very thing they stood against. At the center of this is questioning around the issues to do with leadership in Africa. What went wrong? What should we do? But what's more important, what...
Okay, thank you so much for that powerful session, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we give our speakers a round of applause once more? We can do better than that. It was a very powerful and vibrant session. We could see from how they were speaking and communicating that these are indeed leaders of governance. Thank you so much to our distinguished speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, before we move forward with our program, allow me to invite Kenneth. We can do better than that. The moment you hear, allow me to invite, we can do better than that. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I know we're having very wonderful sessions. Thank you so much, Masiwa, for that powerful session. But allow us just let you know, guys, that we don't intend to cut all this and make it so snappy, but it's because of time. We have a big package for each one of you, so please pardon us. And the speakers are still here. Utilize them, engage with them, and also I'll encourage each one of you to take a moment and do the media interviews with the media team out there. So just two quick announcements. One, he's going to be announcing the next side events, and our dear moderators of the side events, please, let's be mindful of the time. Then two, we have some beautiful souvenirs for you guys. You don't want to miss carrying a souvenir for your friend back home. And we're doing them at very good giveaway prices. For the ladies, who wouldn't like a pink smart bottle? Yeah? And for the gentlemen, we have some beautiful colors as well. And these go for only 150 CDs. That's about $13. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't find it at that price out there. So you have a chance to get one for yourself. In case you want to get an extra t-shirt, it's only at $7 or about 80 CDs out there. So feel free to walk in and make purchase of these souvenirs. I mean, what is coming to Accra or coming to the summit and you don't have a summit souvenir? Please make some purchases and enjoy the souvenirs back there. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Kenneth. So make sure to grab yourself a bottle, an extra t-shirt. You need to get those gifts. We know you love gifting. Okay, so we are going to be moving to the next round of sessions. We're going to be having 4 sessions that will be taking place in 4 separate rooms. And I encourage each and every one of us to participate in each of these sessions. To our speakers, we can't overemphasize the value of time. Make sure that we stick to the time. We do understand that these are conversations that need to take place with a lot of time, but also we want people to benefit and take away everything they can in this short period of time that they're with us. So for our first session, we will be having these sessions from 11:20 now until 12:30. Our first session will be in the main auditorium, which is here, and this session will be led by UNFPA. Our first session will be right here and will be led by UNFPA. Our second session will be happening in West Wing 2, where we have the UNDP Masterclass on Circular Economy. And our third session will be happening in West Wing 1, where we will be having the Digital Frontline mainstreaming cyber peace building into global IPS and WPS agendas. And our last session will be happening in East Wing 1, and it will be led by RENA, IRENA or IRENA. Okay, so with that being said, allow me to allow our distinguished participants and delegates to move into these rooms. We only have 5 minutes in between now and until we are settled in these rooms. So please grab your bag in case you need it. Whatever you need, make sure that you have it as you go to these sessions. Thank you so much. I'm not seeing any participants moving. Okay, we only have 5 minutes. Oh, the breaking sessions in the rooms? Okay, so just a quick reminder once again, as we are moving to these particular rooms, in the main auditorium, we have the UNFPA session. In West Wing 2, we have UNDP Masterclass on Circular Economy. In the West Wing 1, we have the Digital Frontline, mainstreaming cyber peace building into global IPS and WPS. And in East Wing 1, we have a workshop led by IRENA. Make sure to take your belongings as you move into these rooms. We are still reminding you to take interviews just by our interview booth out there, and also take some photos and selfies, and don't forget to caption them with 60th Africa Youth SDG Summit. Our ushers make sure to help our delegates as they move into these particular rooms. So for those that don't know where these rooms are, please, we have ushers just behind, stationed in every point of the room to help you go to these particular rooms. Thank you so much. Yes, please. Okay.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, good morning and welcome to this morning session here in this auditorium. We would be starting in just 2 minutes, and the panelists would be joining us shortly, and then the session can start. If we could ask the technical people to project the session. Oh yeah, it's right up there. This is the youth session, Youth as Catalyst for Peace, Governance, and Partnerships. And this session is sponsored by UNFPA Ghana, and we have our friends from AFRIAN who are part of the session. And the session panel is going to be constituted by the University of Ghana,
National Youth Authority, National Service Authority, UNFPA, and then the UNV coordinator for Ghana. In just 2 minutes, they will join us here in this room and we can start. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, before I get the panel to join us, the summit organizing team, we have this special smart water bottles or tea bottles or liquid bottles. You could use them for multiple things. And they're out there for sale, not too expensive. I asked the price, I think it's really cool. The most interactive contributing member of this session from the audience group, in fact, the first, second, third most active participants in the session, I promise to sponsor a bottle each for you. So we'll be tracking. I don't get to choose who is the first, second, and third best interactive person. The person who gets to choose is Kenneth, the gentleman in white and holding the sheet. So his eyes will be on you. I would not get to choose, but if he tells me these are the best three, those are the people I'd sponsor the bottles for. But you can get a bottle for yourself, smart bottles for your water, for your tea, for your juices, and you would enjoy them. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll just have a few minutes, about a minute or two. The DJ will help us with some soft music while as the UNFPA team sets up. Thank you so much.
All right. This one will be for yes. All right. Good morning once more, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ishmael Kwesi Selassie. I work with UNFPA Ghana as a program analyst for youth engagement and empowerment. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to this morning's session, and we're glad that we could have so many of you joining the session. Before we start, could I kindly request that for those of us on the external wings, if we could kindly come to the inner wings, the two sessions, so we can have a bit more close and intimate and friendship and experience each other much, much more. And if you're also way behind and there's some seats in front of you, we would really love to have you join us a bit to the front. Awesome. You're a very nice team to work with. Nobody is sitting on the externals. Please come to the inner wing. Come this side. Come and sit here, right in front here, please. Awesome. Great. Okay, so thank you very much for coming for this session. We understand our session is supposed to be ending at 12:30. We'll try to see how we're able to keep it in. This is the UNFPA supported session on youth as catalysts for peace, governance, and partnerships. But in this session, we are mainly focusing or discussing the whole issue about institutionalizing youth leadership through the Youth Leaders Fellowship Program Plus. UNFPA Ghana, a couple of years ago, we instituted and launched the Youth Leaders Fellowship Program here in Ghana, where we bring young people from diverse backgrounds into a one-year fellowship program, during which we give them training in an institutional way, and also provide them the opportunity to intern with the UNFPA country office and further with other UN agencies, partner organizations, and CSO partners. The whole idea was for us to be able to build the capacity of young people, give them exposure to the work we do as UN agencies in advancing the Sustainable Development Goals within the country context, and also leverage on their capacity to bring youth voices into decision-making processes and governance processes and advance the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. But over the years, we have seen that the program has been beneficial and impactful, but it's constantly been limited to a very few select young people who go through a very rigorous selection process to be able to come into the fellowship. So to just give you a snapshot of what happens, before you get into the fellowship, you would have seen an advert announcing the opportunity for people to apply. And when you apply, you join about 1,000 young people who are competing for a slot. These applications received by the UNFPA country office here in Ghana are transmitted to an external entity whom nobody knows. And this external entity uses a predefined selection criteria to select 100 young people out of over 1,000 applicants. And those are the shortlisted. Now, these shortlisted 100 young people receive an invitation to produce a special video that showcases them and the work they do in advancing UNFPA core mandate, but also the broader Sustainable Development Goals in their own right, wherever they do. And when they respond, it's further screened by this external partner to give us a final shortlist of 50 young people out of the over 1,000 applicants. And these 50 young people are further interviewed to decide who make the final selected 30 young people who come into the fellowship. Now you see over 1,000 and only ending up to 30, which means there's still a lot of young people who want to go through this leadership program and contribute to the development of this country and beyond. And that is where the thinking process about how do we expand the fellowship program to make it a bigger program that can bring a lot more young people into the space came in. And from that conversation, UNFPA Ghana entered into partnership with very important strategic stakeholders who are national actors in the youth development ecosystem who have taken on the program and expanded it to what we call the Yule Plus now. And these are the partners we have on the platform, on the panel, who are going to be sharing the work they do and as national entities, government entities or academia that are expanding youth leadership. They're going to share what they do with us. And we also have a young person who is on the panel and a current beneficiary of the fellowship program who would share her story and the bigger story of the many young people who have gone through the Youth Leadership Fellowship Program. As we implement this program, we are leveraging on the fellowship to ensure that young people interface with governance, with decision-making in the delivery of peace and security interventions, but from the bigger picture, ensuring that we attain the sustainable development goals here in Ghana and beyond. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you in no particular order the panelists this morning. The first, as I introduce and mention their name, they would have the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about the work they do and why they are on this panel. First, I'd like you to meet Mr. Archibald Donko. Mr. Archibald Donko is the Director for Programs at the National Youth Authority here in Ghana. Archie, please, if you could just wave to us. Next, we have Madame Elizabeth Zutofi, Madame Elizabeth Zutofi, who is the Director for Policy Planning, Monitoring, Evaluation, and Budgeting at the National Service Authority. Then next to her, we have Madame. Next to her, we have Mr. Francis Ofosu, who is the National Coordinator for UNV here in Ghana, United Nations Volunteers Program. And then we have Josephine Adeti, who is a current Yule Fellow at the UNFPA Youth Leaders Fellowship Program. Josephine, please, if you could wave. And then we have Prof. Aheto, who is the Deputy Director at the Digital Youth Village at the University of Ghana, and Prof. Aheto is the current host. Their department is the one that is also hosting the Youth Leaders Fellowship Program at the University of Ghana. So to kickstart, I'd like you to please give a big round of applause to our panel this morning. And then I would hand over to the panel for them to do an introduction of themselves a bit more properly, of their agencies and the work they do, and we get into the conversation. Right after their introductions, we have a short video for the Yule Fellowship Program that the technicians would show. So you see a little bit, just in about a minute, what the fellowship program is, and then we get into the conversation. Thank you. I start with Mr. Archibald Donko.
Thank you very much, Ishmael. My name is Archibald Donko, the Director of Programs at the National Youth Authority. For the sake of delegates from other African countries, the National Youth Authority is Ghana's foremost agency responsible for youth development, basically. So the organization was established in 1974. We are quite old, and it was established on the premise of mobilizing Ghanaian youth to participate in national development. During that time, Ghana had a lot of vibrant youth and youth organizations, including YMCA, Boys Brigade, and a whole lot. So the government at that time thought it twice to establish this organization to see how best they could mobilize these groups to see their meaningful participation in Ghana's development. So basically, that is what the National Youth Authority is about. But we operate at two levels. We are responsible for youth policy formulation, and at the same time also implement direct interventions that improve the living standards of young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Archibald. Shall we have Madam Elizabeth?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much and good afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Elizabeth Zutovi. I'm the programs manager and at the same time director of the National Service Authority in charge of policy planning, research, monitoring, and evaluation. At National Service, I don't know if any graduate here could say they don't know about National Service Authority, previously National Service Scheme. So the National Service Authority is an agency of the government mandated to mobilize and deploy Ghanaian citizens who have completed tertiary institutions, actually accredited tertiary institutions, either in Ghana or outside Ghana, to do a mandatory national service. And we are deploying these graduates to national priority areas, including private sectors. So national service actually is a strategic institution that gives the first experience, work experience, to young graduates because they transition from school then to work. So that is the first work experience that they get. Now, what we do, beyond the deployment to the institutions, National Service with the new mandate, we are looking at how we can enhance capacity of these youth to make them acquire those employable skills so that by the time they finish the National Service, they are able to either set up their own businesses or gain those kind of soft skills that can make them marketable in the labor market. So let me say, basically, this is National Service Authority.
Thank you very much, Madam. Mr. Francis?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ishmael. So I think those of you who were here earlier, you met me. So I'm Francis Ofosu, Country Coordinator for UN Volunteers Program. So the UN Volunteers Program is an agency of United Nations that provides volunteers to support the work of the other UN agencies. So coming into how we are collaborating with UNFPA on this fellowship program is because UNV provides a recognized UN contract for these young people that are recruited as fellows. And then it helps them get treated as staff. And then the contract also ensures that they have medical insurance. So we provide duty of care. Their well-being is important to us. And we also provide them the network to all UN volunteers globally. Now, they would also have served as UN volunteers for a one-year period, which is also good because it means they have a UN system experience of 1 year in addition to the years of experience or the experience that they come on board with. So it's an exciting collaboration that we have with UNFPA. We are looking forward to do more, and we're always available to extend a helping hand and support to young people in Ghana. So yeah, that's why we are collaborating and that's why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Over to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Josephine Walali Adachi. I'm a young leader and youth leader fellow with UNFPA Ghana. I have a background with communications and currently enrolled in the fellowship. So with the fellowship, we have different aspects of the fellowship that I've been able to get to experience. So we have the first one, that is the academic experience. So as fellows, we are we've been privileged to get to be enrolled in the Masters in Youth Leadership with the Digital Youth Village at University of Ghana, and we are currently enrolling in that. As part of the fellowship as well, we get to be United Nations volunteers. So in case you follow me on my socials, you see the work that I've been putting out there, and we've been able to be associated with the United Nations volunteers. As part of that fellowship, you get to intern with the United Nations Populations Fund. So the fellowship kind of immerses you in the UN system. You get to work with the UN system. And I'm currently interning with the Adolescent and Youth Development Unit of UNFPA Ghana. It has been such a great experience, and I'd want to encourage all young people who are here to also get to enroll. I'll be speaking more about it later on in the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we hear from Prof. Aheto.
Thank you. I'm Simon Fui Aheto. I am a lecturer at the university, an associate professor at the University of Ghana. So I coordinate the academic bits of the youth leadership. So I'm also the deputy director for Digital Youth Village in charge of programs. We've partnered with UNFPA to deliver the academic part. So the young fellows are still with us, and they are undertaking their master's degree in youth leadership and development, a fully accredited program with GTech. Now, this program is first of its kind on the continent, and it is a hands-on program, and I'm sure the fellows can attest to this because it's so much practicalized such that they don't really feel it's like a master's program, but very intensive. At the right time, I'm sure I will show some pictures to you, but I think that it's something that we need to encourage and also imbibe in our young people how they should conduct their leadership affairs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we know our panel and where they're coming from, what they bring to youth leadership development in their different dynamic ways. Before we show the video, because I think we are having a bit of a challenge getting the videos to show up, and I'd like to start the conversation in a bit more detail. We start with maybe Prof, I'll come back to you to share a little bit. So UNFPA and the University of Ghana have come into this partnership to elevate what was originally a UNFPA alone-run Youth Leaders Fellowship Program. And this is a partnership that we believe has brought some very important value to the program that we were originally running. Having the University of Ghana working with UNFPA to deliver this leadership training program, what value do you see the university and UNFPA bringing to youth leadership through the fellowship?
Thank you very much, Selassie. University of Ghana, engagement and partnerships is part of our strategic priorities. And we have moved away from that conspiracy where industry is always blaming academia that we don't work with them. And then academia also blaming industry. So this is a real test case that we can show to everyone that we are really working with industry and we are also working with developmental partners. So the framing of this program, it's hands-on. And this is what we are bringing on board. We don't have everything in the classroom. So it's theory, practice, practice, theory. And I think this is something that we need to encourage, not just for youth leadership and development. this kind of methodology will have to transcend through other programs and other institutions. Yes, it is a one-year program, but we even have a PhD, but that is not part of the fellowship. But we developed this PhD program because we had that kind of support from UNFPA. So I think it's an answer to our engagement and partnership priority, and it's also a response to the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is also focusing on quality education. Again, the Agenda 2063 also is having aspirations focused on young people, focused on education, and focused on digital skills. And I think this program is an answer to many questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. I come to Sir Ofosu Francis. So UNFPA had been running this fellowship program for quite some time, since 2018. And every year, as part of the fellowship, we have to send the fellows to other agencies, UN agencies, to undertake the externship or the external internship with these agencies. But consistently, the challenge for many UN agencies had been the fact that the fellows come without some insurance, and having them within the UN space also come with some risk and challenges. And beyond that, when they are with UNFPA for those 1 year, that 1 year that they go through the fellowship, we didn't have this UNV partnership, and therefore they could not call themselves UNVs. Now that we have this partnership with UNV and the fellows are now UNVs, what value does that bring, and what does that make the fellow who goes through this 1 year experience with you as UNV whilst they are in the fellowship?
Ishmael, for that question. So when applying for UN opportunities and even UNVs, if you have experience as a UNV, it's an added advantage. So UNV, you have that added advantage. That is one. Two is that UNV will provide medical insurance and international medical insurance for all our UNVs. So it's called Cigna. It's a comprehensive medical insurance that UNV contract, you are covered. Okay, they have that. That is two. Now, the next one is that UNV, we are developing something we called vetted pool. That is, if you've served as a UNV before and there's a recruitment, maybe in emergency situations where they need to get people immediately, they are not going to go through competitive recruitment process. Once you've served as a UNV before, you qualify to be part of this vetted pool. So it means that the fellows being UNVs automatically also qualifies as part of this vetted pool. The last one is, I mentioned earlier, is about the network of volunteers. Now you go on LinkedIn and you see Josephine posting that, oh, she's a UNV. Another UNV in, let's say, in Kenya, in another country can reach out, oh, I'm also a UNV. I think last week she had a session, global session, UNV, leading a session, speaking to thousands of people, volunteers across the world. So these are the opportunities that the fellows having become UNVs are able to get. So I think the added value is very clear and is enormous. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Ofosu. Josephine, you are a fellow, and I'm sure before you joined the fellowship, you had interacted with some previous fellows who had gone through the fellowship and graduated. And you had an expectation of what the fellowship was as you were coming in. And coming in and with all the variations and differences and the added value that you have seen now, what do you see as a contribution of the fellowship to your growth and development as a youth leader?
Thank you so much, sir, for the question. So before I joined the fellowship, I was following some of the previous fellows, and I could see the great work they were doing and how their lives have improved, how their leadership have improved. So as I got selected for the top 30 over 1,800 applicants, I found that the space was very good. It was one of my dreams to work in the UN space. So to be in that space was very fulfilling for me. And I can really say that the fellowship has gone to, how would I put this, expand my work skills, because I'm a communications person, and before joining the fellowship, my graphic designs were good, my photography skills were good, but now working with the fellowship, I've been able to improve upon that. I can now take photos as a professional. I can also do greater work in the communication space. It has also helped to build my leadership capabilities. So from some of the experiences at the University of Ghana and as Yole Fellows, we get to develop our leadership capabilities. Also academic-wise, my credentials has also improved because now I get to do a fully funded master's at University of Ghana, and now that adds to my credentials.
I was just going to ask you that when you're coming in, did you know it was going to be a master's? And now that it is a master's, how do you feel, and what do you see that doing to your career growth and your leadership and your ability to influence society and in what you do as a young leader?
Beautiful. I was overjoyed when I got to know that we are going to get a fully funded master's to get to study youth leadership and development. Because as a young leader, we have the passion, we want to help, we want to create the impact. But how do we do this appropriately? How do we make sure that we are properly trained to go out there and make the impact that we are supposed to go? So having that opportunity was just mind-blowing for me. And I knew that with that experience, we can now go out there to also make the impact and be able to achieve the SDGs that we'd want to. To also add up to that, with working with the UNV, it has also got to develop my volunteering skills. It's good to volunteer, and working with the UNV has also amplified that. And it has also created a great professional network. So along the way from the experience with DYV, UNV, working in the UN system, you get to meet a lot of great people, mentors, friends who become part of your network. And whenever there's an opportunity or there's a space, they know if it's come to public speaking or youth or gender advocacy, you can reach out to Josephine or you can reach out to the fellow who has specialization. So it has been very impactful. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Josephine, for sharing your experience as a youth leader fellow. I understand one of our videos can be screened now. If it is, can we see it?
And then the second winner for that same category goes to UNFPA Youth Leaders, that is your fellowship program.
From agriculture to medicine, from private sector to bilateral organizations, in every sector of industry, you can find Yole Fellows making a change. And we know that with the investment that we have put in them, the capacity that they have built, make sure that they can be effective change agents. Beyond the SDGs, we have a cohort of young people who will be ready to make a change.
The past 6 months has truly been transformational for me, shaping both my advocacy and leadership journey. I've had the opportunity to work with 29 other young people, learning from their experiences and their perspectives here.
It has also expanded my reach by allowing me to contribute and engage in national and international conversations on youth empowerment and gender equality. last but not the least, that's my favorite, it has connected me to a very vibrant network of young leaders and mentors, opening doors for collaboration and opportunities for sustained impact.
From 2025 and now into 2026, and also with UNV, we have focused on bringing a value-added component to the experience that the young 30 leaders come through the fellowship attain by the end they complete. So now they have the 1 full year work experience with UNV, but also the university master's degree that they attain from the University of Ghana, which Prof will be sharing a little bit more to it. However, this is just 30 young people out of over 1,000 applications that we receive every year. In discussing how do we expand and ensure that we're able to catalyze youth leadership for development in this country, we held conversations with very important partners, the National Youth Authority, and then also the National Service Authority. These are the national institutions that have mandates for youth development in this country. And from those conversations, we have come to what we refer to as the ULE Plus. But beyond that, it's a bigger national program that UNFPA is working with the national institutions that have the mandate to ensure we deliver. Anywhere, any day, that I'm a youth-led organization in Ghana, they indeed are a credible agency within this ULE Plus initiative that UNFPA is running. So, Mr. Achibodonko, over to you.
Co-creators. And one key ingredient for youth participation is youth leadership. And this is one of the thematic areas of our national youth policy, which is themed Benefit for Youth, Involve the Youth, towards a prosperous future. So our national youth policy is very emphatic on youth participation and youth leadership. As part of our strategies, what we are currently doing is to register youth-led and youth-focused organizations in Ghana. And I mean, this is something that is enshrined in the NY Act 939. So by law, every youth-led and youth-focused organization is supposed to register with the National Youth Authority. And the idea behind that is to coordinate the activities, ensure their credibility, and see how best we can create partnership opportunities for these groups. But the ultimate aim is to see how best we build the leadership capacity of those leading these youth organizations. And with the support of the UNFPA, we created a digital platform that is being used to register youth groups now, and also see how best we can manage their activities, and also, I mean, use that same platform to also build their capacity and leadership skills. The ultimate aim is to establish the Ghana Youth Federation, which is supposed to serve as an umbrella body of all registered youth-led and youth-focused groups in Ghana. And this umbrella body is supposed to serve as the voice of the Ghanaian youth. So like we have in other African countries, the National Youth Councils, the National Youth Authority, per the Act 939, has established the Ghana Youth Federation. What the Ghana Youth Federation is supposed to do is to create the enabling platforms for youth participation decision-making at all levels, at the district level, regional, and the national levels. So the main aim is to have representatives of these youth federations serve on district youth committees, regional youth committees, and the board of the National Youth Authority. And these committees are supposed to ensure the implementation of youth policies at the local level. But we believe that for the young people to effectively play their roles and also, sharpen their service delivery, there is the need to provide them with these capacity building opportunities. And like my boss indicated in his speech yesterday, there's the time for government, development partners, institutions to increase their investments in, institutionalizing structures that promote youth participation and youth leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Donko. Just to come back to you and with a follow-up. So you mentioned that there are youth committees at the decentralized level, and these youth committees have or should have youth representation. Can you enlighten us a little bit what the essence of that youth committee is and what it's actually doing, and if we have young people on those committees, what then it means for the voices of youth in delivering governance, development, peace and security, and so on. Yeah.
So if you are, abreast with how local assemblies work, within these assemblies, just like even at the national level, we have various ministries. At the assembly level, we have various working committees that are ensuring various sectors at the local level are working. Before the Youth Act, there was nothing like youth committees that are supposed to ensure that policies that are affecting young people are being well, executed or implemented. So these committees are being established at the local level to ensure that policies, issues that are affecting young people are attended to. And these committees are multi-sectoral. You have reps of the district assemblies or municipals or metropolitans, chief directors, other agencies like the Ghana Education Service, and these are based on, the various thematic areas of the national youth policy. Issues of education, employment, so you have GA and other agencies also serving on the board, on the committee, traditional authority, and the young people themselves, including youth with disabilities, to ensure that these groups are pro-inclusion and also ensure that all manner of persons or young people are also attended to with regards to national development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, actually. So it then makes institutional sense, and also that we are able to have quality representation of young people, that the youth who get to serve on these committees go through a certain intentional training, capacity building, and understand the concept of development within the local structure. So when they are serving on those committees, they can really represent the voices of young people. And this is what you seek to do with this program that you're running. Thank you very much, Archibald. Now we go to the National Service Authority. Madam Elizabeth, can you tell us a little bit what you're doing at the National Service Authority with young people, and what new addition you're bringing into the National Service Program that is related to this Yole Plus initiative we are talking?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, as I indicated, the National Service Authority mobilizes and deploys Ghanaian youth to all sectors of the economy to do a mandatory national service. And I mentioned that it's the first exposure to work environment. So already in an unstructured way, the National Service Program sort of build the leadership capacity or skills of these young graduates that we post to these sectors of the economy. We have situations where they learn knowingly or unknowingly from their direct supervisors, which some of them may even be their peers, young people in the work environment. Even when we go to the communities, in fact, hard to reach communities and then the rural environment. We have these young graduates, even serving as leaders themselves there, and even serving as role models, because some of these communities, we have young people there who may be inspired by the young graduates that we post there, serving as that kind of light for them to learn from. So national service, we do sort of some unstructured leadership training or capacity building. But then with this strategic partnership with UNFPA, we are looking at more structured and intentional program where before we deploy them to do national service, we give them that kind of exposure where we give them trainings on what they should expect as far as working environment is concerned, professionalism is concerned, ethical values is concerned, and even peace, how they should discover themselves, personal leadership, and that kind of self-awareness, what they should do to protect their health protection, and then their rights. So with this kind of program, in fact, we are almost ready to roll out the program. It's a mandatory and compulsory program for every national service personnel. So we deploy like 100,000 every year. So this is a huge platform that we are seeking to use to develop and enhance the leadership potentials of these elite graduates. You know, we are the only authority that deals with graduates, the elite youth. So this is very strategic. Some of them may have exhibited some trace of leadership, but with this program coming on board, we enhance that kind of skills. And we are also looking forward to link up to the Yuli program so that those who may want to further in their leadership journey, they can continue. And you know that even the great leaders we see today, a lot of them have passed through national service program. So for me, this partnership is very, very strategic in building that kind of skills we anticipate our young people to have. Thank you.
Excellent. And this you call the work readiness training program. That's the program name, the Work Readiness Program. And this is being delivered by the National Service Authority. You've developed your own curriculum that you're using to train these young people before they are deployed. And in the training, they get certified. So this then means that all the young people that are being deployed across the length and breadth of this country will go through this training. And the content, if I heard you, also addresses issues of safeguarding and gender. Can you share a little bit about why it's important that we also address issues of safeguarding in this curriculum as you deploy these young people?
Okay, thank you very much. And safeguarding goes beyond just your personal safety. It's encompassing the work environment, security, your own security, other people's security. And we are looking even forward to the user agencies that we work with, how they can provide that kind of safety, comfort, and security for our young graduates. I think some couple of times we hear stories and reports about young graduates we deploy to institutions that are harassed sexually. Some have gone through a lot of abuses. So abuse, and then even some of them, they are exposed to all forms of danger. So this safeguarding aspect is to create that kind of safety environment for both the national service personnel and then the user agencies. In fact, we have this as a contract before we deploy somebody to the user agencies, we ensure that the user agency sign onto this safeguarding code of conduct to make sure that the national service personnel we are deploying to you is in safe hands. You don't abuse them. You don't cause that kind of sexual harassment. And again, national service personnel, when we post you, you also sign that code of conduct. You don't go there trying to do things that will engender other people's safety. So that is the aspect we are bringing on board. You know, if you have peaceful environments, it goes beyond just that work, but protecting other people to avoiding conflicts and making sure that we all coexist in a very good and safe environment.
Thank you very much. And as we all deliver to ensure that along the demographic dividend sectors, the young people that engage with institutions, with governments, with UN agencies, with development partners, and so on, are actually safe. And they also ensure the safety of the people they engage at every point in time. This is one big part of this Yule Plus initiative that really is important to us, because one of the things we want to ensure is that every young person anywhere in this country and beyond, wherever you engage any institution and agency, you feel safe in that space and you're able to bring your energy into development. Now, I'm going to pause here and then we give the floor to you. You've heard all our partners sharing about the aspect of the Youth Leadership Fellowship Program Plus that they are delivering, from academia through the UNV system to youth leaders being registered and accredited and trained through the National Youth Authority, and then the National Service Authority that deploys hundreds of thousands of young people to undertake national service in this country. You've heard what they do. Do you have any question for these agencies and people on the panel? Now I see many hands. Mikey, you might want to have Mikey on Aurelian and Baba. Maybe you may help. We can share the microphones. This microphone.
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for that presentation. But you said a lot about the fellowship. You didn't tell us the criteria. What's the qualifications of getting onto that? Then also with the safeguarding aspect that Madam Elizabeth mentioned, I'm wondering if they could have user organizations have the safeguarding policy as part of their work policies as well, because the issue of safeguarding is becoming a lot of conversations that we are having. And I think for compliance sake and making sure that there is safety across workplaces, it should be encouraged that these user organizations have safeguarding policies as part of their work policies as well to safeguard everyone. Thank you.
Maybe we take...
My name is Valeria Ajatia from Smiles of Hope.
Thank you. We take 3 questions, or if we take 5 questions, and then we answer and come back for one last round. So we have the first one about criteria and also ensuring that organizations have safeguarding policies themselves. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Ohineba from Ohineba Care Foundation. My question also, she was asking about the criteria, but mine has to do with what position a candidate to be a very strong candidate to be considered. Aside the criteria, how do you select the candidate? And what do you expect for someone to be a strong candidate for this program? Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Please, my name is Nafisa. So I want to know if you get into the program and maybe you are not interested in the master's program, is it possible to not take part in the master's program? And again, if at this time you've not heard anything from your previous application, does that mean like you've not gotten in? Because I already know about that program. I attended your info sessions and I applied. So I want to know if by this time you didn't hear from them, does that mean you didn't get into it?
Okay. Is there any international? No, not this side. No more. This side. Okay. International. Two. We take 2 questions from here. Internationals, non-Ghanaian. Not even if you are a non-Ghanaian resident in Ghana, don't ask. All right.
Thank you very much. My name is Priscilla Atapitis, and
where are you from?
I'm from a financial literacy.
No. Country.
Ghana. I'm a Ghanaian.
Hey, sister.